Last but not least for the morning, we have Dr. Betsy Bailey. She's an associate professor at Stanford University, where she serves as the residency program director as well as the director of global health. Within GLODERM, it's been really wonderful because she is the director of our curriculum, where she spends much of her free time on the weekends with our GLODERM mentees and mentors. And we're really, really delighted. Not only is she an amazing educator, she has a lot of passion about coaching and mentorship and sort of formalized ways of doing that. And she's going to come talk to us about professional development in global health dermatology. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here, and it's always such a treat. Well, it's always a treat to see everybody on Zoom, but then it's also really a treat to see people in person. And for those of you on Zoom, I'm so excited that you're with us too. And it's been such a pleasure for me being able to be a part of the GLODERM mentorship program through the curriculum. I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about, as Carrie already mentioned, my special passion, which is coaching. So I'm adding coaching to our conversation in addition to some of the things we already talked about with mentorship and other ways of support. I have no conflicts of interest except that I'm obsessed with coaching. So I'm just going to say that straight up. It's been really fun working with GLODERM and combining that with the other ways in my work I get to support early leaders. So I'm a residency program director, so I'm always thinking about supporting the leadership development of my resident trainees at Stanford. And I've had the real pleasure since 2017 of having an amazing partnership with Julakal Hospital in Nepal, where I mostly get to work with them on Zoom twice a month, but also have gotten several different really fun in-person interactions to really support their early leaders too. All those pictures are residents who have now graduated their program and are doing amazing things. So I really love thinking about ways that we can support our early leaders even better, which is why the GLODERM program has been so exciting. And the question I start with, and we've started with when we were thinking about the GLODERM mentorship curriculum, is how do we support early leaders with such unique settings and unique needs? And people have already mentioned a lot of the potential commonalities of challenges at different programs, but there's also a lot that is truly unique, even to your microenvironment of your hospital or your clinic. And we can't possibly anticipate every challenge that somebody will encounter. So I try to think about what are the tools that can help you be more ready to anticipate whatever the unexpected challenges that comes, which is where I think coaching can be really exciting. And just to give you a sense of that diversity of challenges and experiences, this is just an example of some of the 5-year goals of the 2023-2024 GLODERM mentee cohort. And you can see they're amazing, lofty goals, very challenging. And there's going to be a lot of things that are unique to a specific goal. For example, building an epidermolysis bullosa clinic in a place where there is none. It encounters so many local and larger challenges that it would be sort of impossible for us to fully anticipate. So a lot of the work that's been done with mentorship programs for global health leaders has been focused on experiential learning and mentorship, which is a huge part of the GLODERM mentorship program too. And what that means is a real leaning into experiential learning, of having projects, working paired with a mentor to be able to kind of work through the problems with a mentor hands-on during the course of the mentorship experience. And what they've also found, looking at some of those common models, is that there are some limitations. One is the need to shift more to experiential and problem-solving styles and away from more structured didactics, kind of for some of the reasons I was already talking about, that structured didactics help you build some skills, but ultimately you need to know how to use and apply them in unusual and complex situations. And then also an awareness of the power dynamics, particularly global north, global south power dynamics. And this is where I think coaching is a really cool opportunity. The definition, in case you haven't heard a definition of coaching, I like the ICF, the International Coaching Federation one, which is partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. And the way I actually visualize this, and what this means to me, is when you're coaching somebody, You are standing alongside them. You are telling them that you're there next to them, supporting them, and you are supporting them when they choose whatever direction they're going to step next. So you're not pulling them forward. You're not telling them where to step. You're standing next to them and saying, okay, you're thinking about stepping there. Great. I'll be right here. Let's see what happens. They make the step, they make the decision, and then they know that you're there to support them the next step of the way. And kind of what's actually happening in coaching that I think is what makes it so unique and different is a real shift in the conversation and what we're doing in the conversation. So a lot of the typical roles we have in medicine are in kind of this like top corner where a lot of times, for example, we're a teacher. So when somebody comes to you, presents a case to you when you're in clinic, they expect you to be the subject matter expert. They'll give you their presentation. You'll say, okay, these are the things I would do differently, and this is why. And they learn from that, which has a lot of value, and also has limitations. When you're a mentor, you're kind of more in the middle. So you still, when you're a mentor, it's because you have the experience. You've done something before. Oftentimes your mentees are looking to you to say, what would you do in this situation? What did you do when you were in this situation before? While you also ask questions and kind of understand their experience. When you're coaching in its purest form, it's a total shift in that dynamic where you are not the expert in the subject. Your coachee is the expert. They're the person who understands their situation better than anybody else. What you have expertise in as a coach is asking questions to help them think through their problem. And so I could go and coach somebody who's building a brand new clinic in Tanzania, even though I don't know anything about the microenvironment, the politics, the structural requirements. But what I know how to do is ask questions to help them think through their problems and figure out what to do. And so I think that is a really exciting tool to sort of add to our repertoire of the ways that we support early leaders to really help them think through their challenges and build those skills. And they've actually studied this. I really liked this study where they took people who finished residency, were about to start their first job as an attending physician, and they did 6 group coaching sessions and found that it was really effective, both to get the coaching, but also to coach with each other in their cohort, which I think is very similar to what we're doing in GLODERM, where they were able to develop skills on active listening, conflict management, task delegation, and then they also, very importantly, started to learn how to navigate organizational complexities, like figure out how to identify hidden cultures, hidden curriculums, how to build effective relationships, how to find allies. They talked to each other about it and figured out those skills, which I think are so critical when you imagine somebody entering a new leadership role. Those are the types of things that really can get you to feel tired, burned out, stuck when you don't know how to navigate. So this is, and I'm looking at amazing people here who have built this curriculum as well as I know people online, so thank you all. The mentorship program curriculum at its current state. It's been really fun working with our mentees, getting their feedback, making little tweaks and adjustments as we go to try to make this as useful as possible, given we also have limited time. And what the cadence is right now, so we usually meet on Zoom about once a month, and this is for all the mentees, and the mentors are also welcome to join, but the focus is really the mentees and really getting them a chance to talk through these things together. We have a welcome session, go over expectations, and then also really give each of our mentees a chance to share who they are, what brought them to this program, what are they hoping to get out of it, so we all really start to get to know each other. And then I do a session after that, harnessing your strengths as a leader, where we do a little bit of like just a quick strengths pre-test that they do for self-assessment. And then we really focus on kind of what I just talked about, understanding the idea of coaching and how coaching can help them. And we kind of practice coaching. I take one of the mentees and I do a just quick coaching with them on something going on with them. And the other mentees kind of think about, oh, this like coaching approach. So that kind of helps us set early on the idea of thinking about a coaching dynamic as part of those conversations. And then we get into some other really complex aspects of leadership. So, we talk about communicating vision, similarly try to make the most of the time about them thinking about the visions they want to communicate and us kind of giving each other feedback on the different visions that they're developing. They have a very well-loved two-part session on project pitching with Esther, where they get to practice pitching their project and get feedback. I do a session with them on navigating conflict, which we actually just did, which is really fun because I get to be an actor and they get to pretend that I'm the person causing conflict with them and they get to try to work it through. And we create all different scenarios, like I'm the person causing conflict who's just disinterested, or I feel really strongly we have to do it differently, and they can practice that. Dr. Fuller does an amazing session on just giving them the landscape of international health organizations, which I think again gets into the idea of like, how do we help them develop a sense of like, who are their organizational allies, how to navigate that. And then there's some amazing sessions at the end on relationships with industry and media training. So that's where we're at right now with the curriculum, which is really fun and really a pleasure for me to be able to be a part of it with all of the amazing collaborators. And huge thanks to Esther and Claire and Carrie, who have really helped build this direction so far. Thank you.